The Bleach live action film came out July 20th, and I've been a little bit skeptical about this one, I ain't gonna lie, just because it kind of looks really cool based off the trailers, but you never know with these live action films. I mean, how many times have we been burned, starting from Dragon Ball Evolution, all the way through that? There's just been so many anime films. Oh god, Death Note. I just thought about the Death Note Netflix movie. Oh god, somebody save my soul right now. There's been a lot of horrible live action films. Again, some have been good. Rurouni Kenshin had some pretty awesome live action films. I heard the Gintama one was pretty dope as well. We've had some decent ones or whatever, but the Bleach one came out, and the creator of Bleach actually spoke out on this, and it's interesting because he originally wasn't gonna speak out on it, but as we'll read or whatever his reasoning for changing his mind, he eventually spoke out on it and also said a couple of things which initially I thought that Tite Kubo, creator of Bleach, was heavily involved in this, because I mean, it was announced at the end of the manga. That was the big announcement when the manga ended. Oh yeah, we're getting a live action film, and fans was like, really? Like we was hoping Thousand Year Blood War anime, or a sequel manga or something. And it was a live action movie, and that was, I want to say August of 2016 is when this was, announced. 2018, July, 2 years later, you would have think, especially the manga was over, Kubo had a lot of time to really jump in and grab this movie by the horns and really guide it in the right direction. But I'm assuming what happened is filming had already started at that point. And of course, when a writer from Shonen Jump, finishes a story, they're not all the way done. Shonen Jump still has them doing a couple things. We also know that he recently did this one-shot called Burn the Witch, so I'm imagining that took a little bit of time. But still, within 2 years, I thought Kubo would have been able to walk in, give them some direction, say, yo, I want this, this, and this, and kind of shape up how this movie was going to be. But that's not the case. Let's read what Kubo was saying in this, and we'll talk some more. But I'm just kind of a little bit, I think this could be a good movie. Again, I haven't seen it. I haven't checked out any reviews yet. I don't know what this film is going to be like, but a little bit skeptical. Let's read. Okay, so before we continue the video, just wanted to let you guys know this video was sponsored by Knights Chronicle, an RPG. It's on Android and iOS. Link in the description to download. The experience playing it, I feel like I'm playing an actual console type of game. Also, there's tons of character, over 100 heroes. It has where you can either play landscape or vertical. Some of the things about it that I really enjoy, the cutscenes when you're playing and you're doing like a special attack, that is freaking awesome. They just look absolutely gorgeous and beautiful. The gameplay itself is pretty fun. It reminds me of why I got into RPGs to begin with. There's real-time multiplayer mode. The art looks great. The character designs are freaking awesome. That's another cool thing. I'm very big on having cool character designs. This is definitely a very fun game. So definitely make sure to check out Knights Chronicle. Link in the description below to download on iOS and Android. With the release of a special video for the live-action film of Tite Kubo's Bleach manga, Kubo himself decided to provide comments on the project. He said he had a few concerns and was unable to participate in the project himself, but he seemed satisfied with the end result. Quickly, I want to say I did hear initially that he was having some involvement, so either those were some bad rumors or something, because I could have sworn I did hear that Kubo was on set for a certain amount of time with the movie. So the fact that he's saying he himself wasn't really able to participate, but overall he still seems satisfied, a little bit sketchy. I don't know if Shueisha's like, hey, you ever want to work in this town again, say something nice about this movie, okay? Like, I don't know, but let's keep reading. In a handwritten message, Kubo said he was unable to be very involved in the live action project for 2 reasons. Okay, to be very involved, so he was possibly involved, but just not to an extent of like anything. Maybe it was just like, oh, nice costumes, oh, Ichigo looks cool. Maybe it was something along the lines of that, but not like casting or directing it or whatnot. But yeah, one that he wanted to see was parts of the story director Shinkai Sato, who did the Gantz films, would use, and which parts he would cut. So I guess he wanted to see, okay, he wanted to see where they would go and what they would use for the story for this movie. The other reason was that when discussions of the live action film started, Kubo was in the midst of completing the manga itself. Even so, I mean, okay, when they were talking about the live action film, because again, they announced it at the end of 2016, not even the end, August of 2016, that's still a couple years for Kubo to have jumped in and directed things, or, something. If they were just in talks at that point, then kind of makes me wonder a little bit like, why? I mean, okay, the manga was over at that point. Yeah, you still have some duties here and there, but it's not like Kishimoto where they had him jump straight into helping out, set up Boruto and the one-shots and stuff like that. Like, he's had a decent amount of time. Therefore, Kubo made 2 requests. He asked that the distance and relationships between the characters not change from the manga. Okay, so he wanted to keep things intact. See, you know, if characters act a certain way with each other, their relationships and how distant they are, how close they are, to keep the same. He also asked that the staff not create inconsistencies between characters, feelings, and actions. Okay, so I mean that's some pretty fair requests. I mean, it's not unfair to ask, like, hey, keep it consistent. And I mean, it's not anything strict or anything like that. And again, I'm a little bit disappointed because I always appreciate and I always think it'll bring about a better product, whether it's an animated film, live action, whatever, when you have the original, the source creator involved. I mean, you know, even going up to like Game of Thrones, having George R. Martin a part of it, for better or worse, it's giving his true vision. And of course, with the source material there, is like, you got the source material. Kubo ain't been doing nothing for 2 years other than a one-shot. It would have been interesting to have him on board, and I think it would have been better, again, to get his idea of what a Bleach live-action film would be. Kubo said that he thinks the end result is good, but noted that the film inevitably has some changes. Before we go any further, that is a little bit worrisome. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, for starters, I have not seen any Chad. I don't think that Chad is even involved. Based on the promotional thing, I see Byakuya, Uryu, Renji, Rukia, and Ichigo, but no Chad. And obviously, again, he admitted that there are some changes from the actual source material. I'm kind of curious to what extent are the changes and how much is this film going to adapt, because in the trailers, you know, you see like the first arc, and then you see, of course, Renji and Byakuya showing up. So is this going to be completely like going through all the way to the end of Soul Society? I mean, that kind of sounds like a rush film. I think maybe spread across 2 films, that could have been a little bit better. But if they're doing all of that in one film and cutting out a lot of good chunks of, like, maybe we might not see a lot of the captains, or I hope they don't cut out like the whole captain system completely, you know, the Gote 13. That would be devastating. But some changes, For example, he said that the staff had to incorporate foreshadowing so that the story could wrap up easily. So, meaning certain aspects of the ending of it, they had to foreshadow already, and that originally wasn't in. Maybe there's like some, I guess, filler-esque or movie original stuff that showcases certain aspects of, like, hey, this is how Rukia is gonna, you know, get captured or whatever. Kind of curious exactly. Like, I gotta see this film to really judge it. Kubo ended his message by saying, action with the feel of speed and scale is reaching a new level for Japanese films. Honestly, until I saw the finished product, I said, if I'm not pleased with it, I won't write a comment. I'm glad I wrote a comment. Definitely go and see for yourself what kind of work it is. So Kubo gives his stamp. He wasn't going to talk about this film unless he felt like, hey, it's a decent film. Hey, it's kind of true to my vision. There's still, admittedly, from Kubo himself, changes, and there's certain aspects that are different and things that probably weren't even in the manga. So I'm very skeptical. I mean, at the very least, I'm hoping it's not like Attack on Titan, where Attack on Titan, the live action films that they did in Japan, ooh, I believe they took out Levi and replaced him with a character, Kubal or something like that, and made this whole romance triangle between Mikasa, Eren, and Kubal, and I was like, what are you doing? Like, I watched the first one, and I was like, I can't even watch the second one. Like, this whoa. So hopefully Bleach doesn't suffer from that same fate, and hopefully it's a good film. But at the very least, if Kubo gives his stamp of approval and says that he was only going to talk about this and comment on it if he felt it was, I guess, worthy, so to speak, then that means if we go into this film to a certain degree, well, I'm going to say for myself, I don't want to speak for other people. If I go into this film knowing that Kubo gave a stamp of approval, if it is not at the very least decent enough or feels like it's somewhat true to the story, if it's all the way left field, Dragon Ball Evolution, I gotta kind of point the finger at Kubo, because you're guiding your fans. There are a lot of hardcore Tite Kubo fans. A lot of people really trust this man's word, regardless of whatever happened in Bleach. They love what he's done, and if he disappoints, giving that stamp of approval, it's gonna be bad on Kubo. So honestly, if it's not a good film, he probably should have stood quiet, but I'm gonna trust his word. At the end of the day, it was his original creation. This is his baby that to this day he still hasn't really let go. We know that the One Shot Burn the Witch is connected to the Bleach verse, so he's very passionate and loves Bleach. So I'm gonna take his word for it. Whenever we get a chance to see the Bleach live action, again, it's out in Japan right now. Viz Media might, or Funimation, or somebody hopefully will license it. I mean, I know Bleach the anime is under Viz Media, but I'm not sure if they cover, you know, licensing live action films. I mean, I guess why not? It's Bleach, right? And a lot of people will check it out. Kind of curious what you guys think, though. For starters, do you trust Tite Kubo's message and saying that, yes, go check it out. I wasn't going to talk about it unless I thought it was a good film. It's a decent film. Go watch. I mean, he wasn't ecstatic. He wasn't saying like, yo, this is my idea brought to life. Oh my God. So I can't completely say like, yeah, okay, Kubo, you got me on board. But he's giving a stamp of approval. And if it's disappointing based on Kubo's approval, are you going to look at Kubo a certain way? Are you going to lose trust in him? I mean, to be honest with you, Burn the Witch was dope, and that was a little one-shot, so I know Kubo still got it. I know Kubo can do some of the amazing things he's done in the past. Just kind of skeptical about this film, because a lot of times they don't even care. You know, I don't think they gave a shit about what Toriyama had to say regarding Dragon Ball Evolution. They didn't even bring any of the English cast when Dragon Ball is so huge in the West to be on board. So a lot of times these live actions, they don't even care what the original creator has to say. The director's like, this is my show, baby, and I'm running with it. And your overall thoughts and expectations for the Bleach live action film? I'm skeptical, but I am going to watch this when I get a chance. That's all I have for this one, though. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you want more from me, make sure to subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, stalk my Facebook. Follow me on Twitch and hit the bell to get all notifications, baby. Come on, hit that bell. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day. And remember the golden rule: anime and manga for life, boy. Bow. Have an awesome day. Hey guys, thanks for watching, and again, make sure to check out Knight's Chronicle, link in the description below for iOS and Android. Have an awesome one.